Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Claressa Shields, let me tell you something. Big Gwoat, take a knee. Time for you to stop because you're not going to win. You're not going to win. You started it. You started it all. And the internet is finishing it. So you can sit here and play why me all you want. I'm not saying I agree with you. I'm not saying I agree with the internet. But what I can say is I disagree with anyone who wants to sit there and not take accountability and play victim when they intentionally came out here and chose to be mean, wicked, nefarious, evil, classless to any and everyone, hoping that it will result in some kind of monetary gain. Now, I know right now there's a lot going on, and I know, I don't talk about a lot of certain things, but I'm just looking and I'm saying, when is it going to stop? Every day, there's something going on. Every single day. Now, I can't help but understand the people who are like, they don't want to sympathize with Claressa. They don't even want to try to understand anything that's going on with her right now. Now, I'm made up differently. I can separate being a content creator, talking about things, and certain things that Hood Champion just ain't gonna talk about. But then I'm also a human. So I can totally disengage from the shit I talk about and be who I am at the core and be more understanding. Doesn't mean I agree, but I'll listen, I'll hear you, I'll understand where you're coming from. Because I could see some things, I could understand it, but remember, you don't have to agree with someone. You know what I'm saying? If a little kid is out there doing something and I see a parent pop them in the mouth because the child said a bad word. Now, do I agree with that? No. Hell no. Do I understand them wanting to get the child to stop using those words? Of course. But the approach, all bad. Okay? Because first of all, where that little fucker learn how to cuss like that anyway? Probably from mommy and daddy. So, but again, you see, I can sit there and listen to a person and be like, okay, I get it. You didn't want he or she to do it anymore, but your approach was all wrong. So I don't agree with what you did. Now, when it comes to Claressa, I see her the same way. And some things I can understand. Now, I'm going to take it all the way back, right? Because I know some of y'all, all of our backgrounds are different. I'm not saying I have more experience in a certain area than anybody else. But what I'll tell you is I have a whole lot of experience that y'all have no idea about. That's why when I sit here and some people, they say, yo, man, Hood, he got great listening skills. He has great, man, I'm not the only one. But those who have a similar background, they understand. And if you don't, you never understand. And to be honest with you, I really don't care. But let's take it to the Layla Ali thing, which everyone knows how I feel. I don't have much to say here. But for Claressa to be sitting here right now, looking at herself saying, Lord have mercy, I'm going through a difficult time. And these people on the internet are talking about all the stuff that's going on. Hood Champion ain't doing it because that ain't me. But I see what's going on. But I'm going to tell you this. Nobody would be talking about you if you wouldn't have come out here. And I'm going to be honest with you. Some people say, oh, it's with Remy. Nah, man. If you wouldn't have came out here and you kept poking and poking and poking at la 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 Ali. Should have left her alone. You disrespected her. You called her out of name. Okay? Witch. You called her bitch. You mentioned her father, may he rest in peace. You called her oh so pretty. You said she would have got knocked out. You lied on her. She been disrespecting me. She keeps bringing up my name. She jealous of me because she wants to be like me. She didn't have the accolades. She doesn't have the gold medals. She doesn't have the world championships. I would knock her out. I would this, I would that. You were trying to get a fight. No one and sit here and say they don't understand a person wanting to get a fight, especially with Layla, no matter how many years she had been removed from professional boxing, because you know if you get a fight with her, you know what's going to happen. Wu-Tang Cream, cha-ching ching, dollar dollar bill, y'all. Anyone who say, well, we still can't understand why she'd want to fight her. Well, then you should hold your horses and stop taking it to the stupid. She knew fighting Layla Ali would probably bring in a $20-30 million payday. But she went about it all wrong. For those of y'all who don't know this, Layla Ali, back during COVID, Layla Ali was considering fighting Claressa Shields. There were serious talks going on, not with her, but serious talks going on with promoters. Very serious talks. The money, everything. Then COVID happened and shit just kind of went away. And there's some other things that happened, but you know, everybody has things that happen in their life sometimes where it's like, yo, it's best for me maybe to leave certain things alone, right? Because we all have families, right? So you gotta do what's best for your family at the end of the day. But for Claressa Shields to come out here and act like Layla's afraid of her, Layla was ducking her, you should have never pursued Layla Ali, okay? So when you went at her and you were mentioning her father's name, the entire world boxing establishment fans took notice. They took notice. And people didn't like it. And I am telling you, that's what's opened up this big Gwoat hate portal. You did it. She didn't do it. I didn't do it. The fans didn't do it. No one did it. You did it. And when you did that, people took notice and people were like, oh, what the hell is this going on here? Who is this Claressa Shields? And those of us who knew you, we're like, what the hell is this? Layla dropped them videos. We're like, whoa, all that happened? It's one thing if you see something happen this month and 6 months, 7 months later, you may see something. It doesn't hit. It's not as impactful as somebody dropping a 40-minute video and putting 50 different clippings in that video. You know what I'm saying? It's like combination punching. Bam, 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 bam. You know, it's like shit. You just trying to get out the way of that shit. That's how Layla Ali did Claressa. She combination punched her ass with them videos. And Claressa got all tattooed up and riddled up and shit and got the standing 8 count. Then the second video gave it a knockout blow. And then everyone took notice and said, yo, this girl is not a good person. So you started it. The internet said, we're going to get involved. And look at all these people right now, podcasters. I don't even call them podcasters. They're opportunists. And I don't fault them because they're getting their money. Get your money. Because Claressa was out here, she's out here just trying to get her money off the internet. But you went out here, man, and that shit resulted in a lot of doors opening for different content creators and people to come and talk about you. And it resulted in doors that mattered closing on you and being welded shut indefinitely because people are like, all right, you and Layla want to go back and forth. Y'all are women, y'all are fighters. Most people are cool with that. No matter how long she's been out the sport. Layla can handle herself. We know that. Layla is all about the business. Layla ain't worried about nothing. But where you went wrong is mentioning Muhammad Ali's name. Okay? So that's where you messed up. That's where people across all 7 continents like, nah, who is this fucking woman who's doing this? So that's how a lot of people learned about Claressa Shields. A lot of people didn't know about it. It was through this. So then you move on. People who didn't know about her start to learn about her and what's going on. Then all of a sudden they find out she's with this guy, a rapper. And everyone's talking about this relationship. And they're like, what's the big deal? What, this girl, she with a man? Why are they talking about this relationship? Oh, well, he's still married. Oh, she's with a married man and she's out publicly? What the hell? Then they said, well, he's separated from his wife. Okay, wait, hold on. He's married, but he's separated. Okay, that's not uncommon. What's the big deal? But hold on. She had befriended the wife and was communicating with the wife initially. Fashion tips, etc. Okay, so what are you telling me? She befriended the wife. And then kind of snaked her way towards the man and started sleeping with the man. That changes the conversation. Because even me as a guy, player to the core, you know what I'm saying? Pimp hand, 100% support the guys. Get all the women you can. When you single, get them all. That's just how I fucking live life. You single, enjoy yourself. Answer to nobody. You crazy? Hell no. And I feel the same thing for the women. Pimp hand. You single, enjoy yourself. Talk to who you want to talk to. Go enjoy yourself. Fool gonna give you money, whatever. But even us as players, reformed players, we look at that and say, yo, that's some shiesty shit. The woman befriended the wife, and then when she had the opportunity, she went out there behind the wife's back. And the guy, too, they started messing around. That's crazy. That means that that person doesn't value themselves if they'll do something that horrible. So, guys, so a lot of us who are boxing heads, we didn't know about all that. But see, that's when the shit came to me. I didn't know about that. I didn't even, because I don't care. Most of us men don't care. But that's when I started doing them live, and the women started calling in and filling me in. Because they know at first I was like, man, y'all bugging. So what? But that right there caused that it went from people who didn't know about Claressa learning about her from disrespecting Layla and her father, then transitioning, and those who already knew about Claressa were like, oh, well, hold on. Wait till y'all hear about this. So that's a double whammy. And those two things are what really started the downfall of Claressa Shields. I ain't talking about the amateur stuff because the stuff people are talking about, I've been heard about a whole lot of stuff, shit, maybe 8 months ago, before it was even coming out. And I'm not going to talk about it, right? Because that ain't my style. I'm just going to start with Layla Ali, right? So that right there, those are two double whammies. And she ain't never been able to recover. But, you know, like Onyx said, well, wait, it gets worse. Then she come out here bugging and beefing with Remy. Okay, the same person you befriended who was trying to give you fashion tips. You disrespect Layla Muhammad. You gone out there, man, with Remy. Befriend her, start messing with Papoose. Then you start disrespecting Remy. And we know about all the texts and everything that's floating around. I ain't here to regurgitate that. Y'all already know. I already know. But you go at Remy. Everybody who initially thought that maybe Remy was wrong for whatever was going on with her and the boxing promoter, rapper Papoose, right? All of a sudden, Remy says, yo, she had said what she said, and people start paying attention. They realize, wait a second, Remy wasn't wrong. And they said, this girl, Claressa, you went out here, befriended her, slept with her husband, and now you out here talking trash to her, disrespecting her, talking about, you know, something, giving birth, what she wished would have happened. Let me tell you, that was one of the big, that right there was the whole world, hip hop ended, the whole world, and especially the hip hop world where Claressa had been trying to get herself into. They weren't feeling that shit because they love Remy. And people are sitting back looking saying, Lord have mercy. Remy is blown up. Remy is doing great things. The woman got a butler. She out here Wu-Tang creaming, ching-chinging, and has every right to be, yeah, I'm conceited. You got every right, Remy. Hey, look, hood champion here. I'm blowing the kiss. Pop, catch that, put it where you want. You know what I'm saying? Let that shit land where you want it to land. Yo, I like to see the positivity. So much negative shit in the world. I like to see that, man. She come out here and bubbled up and elevated. And they say the cream rises to the top. Well, she kept on rising to the top. Dougie Fresh, Get Fresh crew. And keep on rising. Keep on rising to the top. But you see what happened here? What's happened to Big Gwoat? What's happened to Big Gwoat? Downward spiral. And people are rooting for her to hit rock bottom because they feel like, you know what? still a female, but she needs to hit rock bottom for her to wake up. And some people say, man, that sounds harsh. How could they? We understand she was trying to get a fight. Layla Muhammad, yeah, that was tasteless, tacky, but she kind of was trying to get a fight. We don't agree. Yeah, the Remy, the Papoose, it seemed like there was some trouble in paradise. Yeah, she that was kind of, tacky, tasteless, that she went out there and started mingling with the man. But I'm still not so sure y'all should be wishing that on her. Then you're going out there and talk about how she's out here kick them little kids up at the Christmas thing. Now, there's a lot of other things that happen. I'm talking about this shit, the big nuggets. Come out here and openly brag about that. Only to find out the little boy was the face of the Flint, Michigan water crisis. Brag about kicking them out, talking about they were homeless and just celebrating being as evil as you possibly can during the holiday time. Bob motherfucking Humbug, Ebenezer Scrooging them, bragging about it. That hit a lot of people differently. So there's some people who, hey, whatever happened with her and Layla and the boxing thing, whatever. Whatever happened to her, Papoose and Remy, whatever. Right? The others though who said, no, that shit with Remy, with Layla and them, that's the worst. Others said, no, that shit her going after a married man, that's the worst. She's side chick syndrome. She's disgusting. But that shit with the kids, those who kind of were neutral, that pushed them over the edge. That pushed them over the edge. They say, yo, kids are innocent. You that evil? You that Sesame Street? That you sit there and do that to a family at a Christmas gift giveaway? Even if you and the mother don't get along, you telling me that your heart is so callous and so rotten that you won't be like, hey, look, y'all go, hold on. Don't say nothing to me, but stay. I'll get some for the kids, but you just need to go after I get this. And then even if you go and have someone else start say, look, I don't want to deal with them, just go ahead and tell them, give them the kids and tell them they got to go. And she knows why. There's a way to handle that. There is a way to handle that. And those people who are neutral, that's where you develop, you acquired more enemies. And these people don't like Big Gwoat. They hate her. I listen to people like, yo, they really hate this chick. But that's what she puts out. You know what I'm saying? If you put that out, that's what's going to come back to you. So you had all this stuff going on with the Alis, stuff with Remy, okay? And it hasn't stopped. And then you had the stuff with the kids. So now, you fast forward, then all of a sudden, a Charlita Savage surfaces. The sister Brianna surfaces, right? Jada the Boxer surfaces. And all these people start talking and saying things, and now we're starting to learn about her family and friends. And all these other people who are kind of behind these profiles, don't want anyone to know, they start saying things. And we're like, what? Ain't no way that stuff could be true. And then you sit back here today and you look at it, you're like, all these people, you tend to believe them over Claressa. But she went out here, man, and she just chose to go back and forth with everybody. And whether she was being truthful, and sometimes, but most of the time, it seemed like she was being untruthful, they poke holes in all that. As a result, they aired all her dirty laundry. All her dirty laundry. Because she chose to get down in the weeds. And let me tell you something. If I know people have something on me, and somebody comes and says something that ain't really too, life-threatening, I ain't gonna say shit. I'm not gonna say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because I know if I push, they may push harder with some shit. And once they put that weight on on me, yeah, I get smashed, I get killed. You know what I'm saying? They destroy me. I ain't trying to have them put that kind of weight on me, especially if I know it's true. So you have all this going on, and then you kind of filter in all the stuff going on from friends and family members, filling in the cracks. And we're sitting there looking at this picture that's forming, and we're like, oh, this is very unattractive. Then you start hearing stuff about, okay, her and this Papoose. Well, how about this? She was with this guy. She was then to this guy, then to Papoose. Then while she was with him, you keep hearing about these different names. of different people who she was with, while with Papoose. Now look, I'm just sitting here telling you, Big Gwoat, take a knee. Because every day is something. Every single day. And remember, there's a lot of other things I'm not including because y'all know I don't be on the internet like that. I'm just going off the things that I've heard that stick out to me where I'm like, that shit is kind of crazy. Because y'all know I don't be getting caught up in the hoopla, but these things I'm missing are things that I'm like, that's a lot. So now you're here, then you got the podcasters. All these people, all of a sudden, they sitting back. You got people at the crib, whether they're very successful people, kind of middle class, or people who have nothing going on in their lives. Zero, because there's some of them. Zero. But there's some people who are very successful. They say, I got a little time on my hands. Let me throw together a little Claressa Shields page and just sit there and talk about what she got going on. But this is like the new goddamn crypto. This is the Gwoat coin right here. Shit, I missed Bitcoin, but I ain't gonna miss the Gwoat coin. Even if I just do videos for a year and get that money and buy me a brand new car. Shit, I got me a new car. Thanks, Claressa Shields. So not everybody out here is, like she said, broken, poor, and ugly, and dusty, and no. Maybe there are a few. But no, that ain't the case. Maybe 1%. The other 99, I'm gonna make an assumption they got their shit together. But everyone starts talking about you because you won't shut up. You can't shut up. Why? I don't know. Take a knee. But to tell you how bad it is, right? It's so bad to the point to where it started affecting her boxing because now by this time she got Papoose involved and Win Records involved, and she went out here and made the biggest mistake of her boxing career, in my opinion, and slapped the shit out of Alicia Baumgartner. That right there didn't do nothing but throw fuel on the fire for boxing fans, for casual fans, for observers, and definitely for other promoters and people with inside the boxing industry. They're like, oh no, we can't have this. It's fucking assault. They're boxers, we get it, but no. We can't come and lose our control, misplace our self-government, and decide we just want to hit somebody because we don't like what they said. Especially when you think about all the shit Claressa says. No, she's talking about my man, my relationship. Man, please. Nobody want to hear that shit. What is this, 7th, 8th grade? We're adolescents now? What are we doing? Stupid. Outweighed a girl by 70 pounds. Yeah, she would have scrapped, but at least she was there chilling. Nice little dress, heels. I know she liked to dress sexy. She probably had a thong on, or maybe no panties. At least she come swing and fight and she fall down, her shit flip up, and then what? You know what I'm saying? I think she did the right thing. See, this is shit other people ain't thinking about. But Big Gwoat, look how she was dressed. Like Conan the Barbarian and shit. Just ate a steak and potatoes. She came there ready to scrap. You know what I'm saying? Papoose on the lookout and shit. It's crazy. He there like a goddamn stork. A big pap. They got the flamingo. He's a papmingo out there. Just with the shades on. So she out there Conan Barbarian. He papmingoing. And Alicia's out there sexy. Sexy lady. You know what I'm saying? Kapow! Slapped her. Internet goes crazy. WTF. So then we sit back here breathing, lawsuit, this and that. Everybody like, oh, get her up out of here. Now all of a sudden she banned from MVP events. They got all these fighters over there in her weight class. But Claressa could be fighting. She can come, especially where she's trying to cut this 40 plus pounds to get down to 160, 168. I did a video yesterday. There's a bunch of them over there she can fight, but they said she's banned from events. They didn't say she's banned, that they won't fight her. But I'm going to make an assumption now that they don't want nothing to do with her, period. But words matter, you know. But the bottom line is right now, they ain't trying to work with that girl. So doors closed. She all over the place. Can't get a fight. Supposed to announce a fight, then delayed, then supposed to announce a fight, then it gets delayed. Everybody looking at her crazy. There's a reason why she was able to announce fights before and arrange fights before and why she can't now. Because bridges have been burned and doors have been closed. So they're doing shit from within. You know, it's like an internal hiring situation. Demetrius Leader has some females signed to his promotion. All right, we'll keep the money in-house. You just have to fight these, whatever we have here. And we don't really have much, but hey, come on down here and fight Kay Scott. She's a champion, unified from Australia. Hey, go for it. So then she makes a fight with Kay Scott. Everyone's like, what the hell is this? Then you find out you got Zeus Network and everything. The baddies think, the bottom line is her career is in a downward spiral. This non-traditional way of doing things, is it good? Is it bad? I don't know. But we're going to find out. But the bottom line is her shit's turned into a spectacle. And all the attention that used to be on Claressa Shields, it's no longer on her. Look at that build up to Franchon. Everybody was talking about Claressa and Franchon. Claressa and Franchon doing interviews, going back and forth. Everybody trying to get interviews with them. Everything is about Claressa, Franchon, Claressa, Franchon. Right now, ain't nobody really saying shit about this fight. It's about really the Zeus Network, the baddest thing. So Claressa's gone from being the I would say the central figure in all this to being, I would say, from being the main event, this, as far as discussions, to the co-main. That's what's happening. She's the main event fighter being treated as a co-main. And the co-main fighters are being treated as the main event. Even Orlando Brown and old crazy-ass Ray J. Well, Ray J and crazy Orlando Brown, they both kind of crazy and shit. So how is she winning? Then you look at how many people, how many hands in the cookie jar. How is she winning? She went from out here buying expensive this, expensive that, jewelry, clothing, all kind of bags, all kind of bullshit, high-end shit, to out here selling dolls, hats, Gwoat merchandise. Open the box. I thought I saw a flying cockroach come hissing and zip across the goddamn room. Matter of fact, I thought it was coming through I thought it was some 3D shields coming through my camera. I was like, what the fuck? The champion out here slipping cockroaches and shit. That's a flying cockroach? I don't know, them motherfuckers be living in cardboard and shit. But the bottom line is the whole thing turned into a spectacle. It's a circus. But just when I said, you know what, the internet, oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm almost done. Just when I said the internet, they know when to chill out. They're gonna leave this alone. They're not gonna keep pushing. The unfortunate has happened within her family. I don't talk about those things. Everyone knows that. But I'm paying attention. And then during the live last night, I'm like, I get the callers are calling in and filling me in on stuff. And I'm like, Claressa just take a knee. All kind of stuff going on the internet, family members and what happened and who called security and who was supposed to be banned from this and that and who's doing lives and who's saying this and who's deleting their lives and content creators taking this shit and they out here just, rinsing and repeating the goddamn content, getting clicks and views. And they just told me right there, she need to stop. Because they don't care. But you know what? This why me? You did it to yourself. You did it to yourself. It's your fault. Give people something to talk about. Give them something positive to talk about. All good. But you give them something negative to talk about. I put it this, when you put the positive out there, less people will talk about you. That's true. Hood Champion's looking for the celebratory moments for everybody. I'll talk about it. I like talking about the positive shit. But not everybody wants that. They want the drama. Sex, money, murder. So you give them the negative shit, that's what they're going to talk about. And they're going to slice and dice that shit. And they don't care about what's going on in anyone's lives. Maybe there was a time where maybe they would have, but look at how much negative energy you put out there. How you wish certain people to have passed away and shit. You said some ill shit to people. How you treated people, kids, fans, everyone. But hey, I told you. You ain't got that much time on your hands to take on everybody who says something you don't like. You said, man, I wish I did. And you have proven to be right. You really are trying to come out here and somebody says something you don't like, whether you misinterpret it or whatever, doesn't matter. Once you lock into your mind something, or sometimes you create your own narratives and bullshit. You go off on a tangent. So this whole thing about why me, you started it, the internet to finish it. They don't care. And they don't care because you didn't care, and you still don't care. So you living your best life, you driving your Corvette and all that, okay, cool. But you got to understand, you did this shit to yourself. And it ain't going to do nothing but get worse, because now you're talking about next year and you and Papoose and Pap having a Pap Jr. and this and that. This shit only getting started. The best thing you can do is not have a child. And that may sound harsh to some people. Say, damn, hood, what you mean? What I'm saying is she's created such a toxic environment and toxic image that for the rest of her life, she's always going to be under some kind of attack. If she has a child, I would wish them the best of luck. But I just know how this internet is. They are not going to let that child live in peace. The internet is a fucked up place. But she did it to herself. She did it to herself. She better hope she better hope she just really better think about that move. Because right now, it's just her and Papoose, two adults, can do what they want, whether we agree or not, whether you like it or not, that's on them. But an innocent child doesn't deserve to be brought into no shit like this. And that's just my opinion. If y'all disagree, we just have to disagree, but that's my opinion. I would tell anybody out there, I don't care how good Claressa may make you feel if you hook up with her, or maybe she learned how to cook and make you a little goddamn steak and potatoes and shit, government grilled cheese, whatever the fuck it is. Don't have a child with that woman till she can sort shit out, rebrand herself, fix her image, fix her reputation, and get this shit to die down. Because man, that shit would bother the hell out of me, to just know people out here going at a child. But I'm telling you, the internet's going to do it. Because if people sit there and say shit, these fake profiles, TMZ, all these places, these motherfuckers are brutal. They'll reporting here. Someone said this, and people giving them images and shit. Could you imagine the circus this shit will turn into? They got it with Michael Jackson and his children. They got Kanye West and his kids. They're fucking fools out here. Jay-Z and his children. These people are fools out here. Anything for clicks and views. But that being said, this whole thing about why me? Yo, take a knee. It's time to shut the fuck up. Because that shit that y'all got going on right now, it shouldn't be like this. But that whole internet talking, y'all out there talking shit about each other, and this right here is a very private moment, man. The whole goddamn internet's talking about it. It's crazy. Anyway, man, y'all keep cool. Big Gwoat, take a knee, man. Because that's the only thing you can do, because you can't win. And you started all this shit. You started it. Layla didn't do nothing to you. Remy didn't do nothing to you. You and Alicia, she ain't do nothing to you back in the day. You heard what you wanted, just like you heard what you wanted from Layla. You know what I'm saying? The woman coming to the gift giveaway, she ain't do nothing to you. She talked about all that. You just jealous because she had text your man at the time, some other dude. You got jealous. We believe them. We believe everyone else. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.